Hello, everybody. My name is BloodThunder. You can call me BT for short. I've been around a little bit. Most people know me for games like BioShock, but this time, GDQ committee said, hey, you've run BioShock enough, run another Shock game, so here we are. The System Shock remake, which is the remake to the original System Shock. Funny how that works. That came out in 1994, just about 30 years old, which is pretty crazy to think about. That was originally made by Looking Glass Studios, shout outs to them. This was remade by Night Dive, shout out to them as well. I had a dev reach out and said they might be watching, so if they are, hello, sorry for what I'm about to do. And this is a little bit of a special run for me, just because this game's awesome, but this also happens to be not only my 25th GDQ run, which is just amazing to think about how far we've come, but GDQ committee was also nice enough to schedule this run to be on my 31st birthday, so thank you for that present.
Let's go. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'll forgive everybody for not giving me a present if you just donate to GDQ, because this is an immersive sim game. If you want to do $4.51, get the little train going, that'd be pretty cool. Anyways, we're gonna get into this. We have a lot to go through, which is why I don't have a couch, because I'm just gonna be talking straight to you guys for about the next 35, 40 minutes. We'll have some time for donations, but yeah. We're gonna set the difficulty all ones. Some of the stuff we're not even gonna see, honestly. This game is pretty cool. You can customize it to how you like. If you like more combat or puzzles, we're not gonna see puzzles, just so you know. Once we skip this cutscene, the run will start. So in 3, 2, 1, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple stuff, and then we're gonna talk about the story, and then we're gonna have some fun. So we're interacting with a whole bunch of stuff so that this laptop becomes interactable with sooner. And we wake up in the year 2072, where we're gonna be hacking into this computer. We're looking for sources on the Citadel station owned by the Trioptimum company. More importantly, we're looking for the Neuralink implant, but some people may be onto us. So they're gonna come down and break in and take me up to their station, which is what we kind of want. And we're gonna be meeting a man named Edward Diego. We're gonna meet him in a cutscene. We're gonna skip this, is why I'm going all of this now. And he's gonna offer us the implant that we're looking for. Win-win, once again. Real quick, we're gonna show what we do to authorities when they show up like this.
Turn around! Now!
We're gonna skip another cutscene here. And the deal Edward Diego gives us is, hey, we will give you this implant if you hack into our station's AI and remove its ethical constraints, which sounds like a wonderful plan. If you've heard of the character Shodan before, that is the AI controlling the spaceship, which we are about to wake up on 6 months after getting that implant, which is what's going on here. And we're gonna be actually playing the game. Here we go. We're gonna collect a whole bunch of stuff that we will talk about down the line, but we are at the bottom of the space station, and how this run's gonna work is we're gonna try to make our way up each floor. Need to grab a couple of these things. We're interrupting some animations by picking them up in a certain order. And we have our lead pipe. We're gonna take out Alpha 5 from the Power Rangers. Get him out of here. Like I said, we'll talk about all these little patches in just a moment, but we need to put in our handy dandy 451 code. If you've ever seen this in gaming, it is very popular. It originated in System Shock. So a fun little trivia fact for you there. Anyways, this is the, oh, he's not in. We're gonna check that body for some extra stuff. We do have a pretty large inventory. You're supposed to collect a lot of stuff. There's a whole currency and recycling. We're not gonna do any of that. We actually need very few items to beat this game. So we're just gonna take these guys out, collect a little bit more. And like a lot of old school games, this one has a lot of secret walls. We're just gonna open up this panel, get a frag grenade, and we're gonna get 2 more med packs over here. And one thing we didn't pick up is a display that's usually in the top left that shows your stamina or fatigue in this game. So if we're running too much or we swing our melee weapons, it's going to slow us down. And you can see our health in the top right as long with the energy underneath it. That is a little scary. We do want to actually take a death here in a second, but we don't want to die quite yet. So we're going to save. We're gonna pick up our first gun. This is the Spark Beam, and yeah, we're about to start breaking the game. So the biggest thing we have to break this game is to do a save load in a position where we can't stand up. And when we load back in, it's gonna force us to stand up, getting us out of bounds. And this part and all out of bounds are gonna be pretty weird because while the collision's there, not all the textures are. So we're going to look at the mini-map in the bottom left to navigate. We're going to do a quick save, quick load to load in some more textures. And we're also going to talk about what these are in just a little bit, but I'll talk about it now. We'll be able to talk about the next thing. So we need to shoot these computer banks through the ceiling, make sure they're all destroyed. All right, we're gonna run out of bounds once again. We need to get back in bounds now, which is much easier to do later on. What we need to go activate is the respawn system that this game has. If you've played BioShock, it's like the Vita Chamber, which BioShock is the spiritual successor to this game. So this is a restoration bay, or it was supposed to be a restoration bay, which once Shodan had its ethical constraints removed and took control of the ship, turned it into a cyborg conversion. So if we die now, we become a cyborg. We need to flip the switch, which will turn it back. It's always fun to see. Into a restoration bay, and so now we can use this anytime we die. We warp back here with all of our stuff, and it's our way to get back in bounds. Later on, we're going to be using these to cut out some backtracking. It's become very, very handy. Now we can talk about the spark beam. So you can see that it's glowing right now. It has 3 different modes. So you can set it to low, like that, medium, and overcharge. I think it's actually high instead of medium. But you can set a green little strip on the back of the gun. Low will take a little bit of that off and do a little bit of damage. High does more. And then overcharge will use remaining bits of that green bar and do appropriate damage based on that. So it can do a lot of damage really, really quickly. But it uses a ton of energy, so we don't want to use it too much. We're going to just run through here, try not to die. Activate another restoration base. So the most recent one you've activated is the one that you will teleport back to. So the ones are right there. And now we can start talking about all of the things that we picked up before. The 3 patches, we have stamina up, which will give us about 70 seconds of infinite stamina and a little bit of health back. I'm not sure why it gives health, but it is kind of nice. We also have med packs, which is kind of standard. You get 1/3 of your health back over the course of like 20 seconds or so. Look for a couple supplies. And the last thing we have is Berserk, which is going to give you a 100% damage increase for melee weapons, as well as a 50% increase melee swing speed, so it becomes really, really nice later on. Once again, we don't want to die here necessarily, but we don't want to use too many resources. And we're just collecting some key cards that are going to open up a ton of doors. This game's not necessarily open world, but it does require you to backtrack a lot, open up different areas, kind of in the way that a Metroidvania would. And we're going to get a couple more frag grenades and an actual pistol, which is kind of nice.
You mind if I sneak in here real quick?
Go.
I do not know when this needs to happen, so I want to make sure we get it right away. We've got $100 from Kona Rikan that says, had to donate for one of the best games and remakes I've played in recent years. Recently streamed this remake alongside my mom, who was streaming the original. She's not able to make a donation, so this donation is on her behalf. Wanted to make the donation amount meaningful, so here's the rough number of saves from both of our playthroughs. Also, I'll donate an additional $25 if the runner purchases the grenade on the executive level from the Snackutron.
That's not going to happen. Unless they want to give me another hour or so on the game. I don't think we can make that one happen. We're going to run through here, which is usually, it has radiation in it. You're going to take a little bit of damage. It's not too much, is why we're just tanking it. You're supposed to get what's known as the Environmental Protection Pack. We're just going to run around that guy. So a little bit about what's going on in the story, because we've definitely been touching on that. So Shodan's taken over the ship and is now kind of considering itself a god and wants to destroy Earth. Surprise, surprise. It wants to shoot a laser drill down at the planet, and our first quest here is to stop that laser, actually destroy it, by like closing the shields on the ship, and then when the laser fires, it blows itself up. And here, in this little secret wall, we're gonna get a logic probe, which is gonna skip one puzzle for us. We used to get a couple more, but with some route changes, we only need the one. So we're gonna be overcharging these laser turrets. They are very deadly. Not too many enemies pose a big threat in this run, which is nice. The bosses can, but we'll get to those in a little bit. These little Roombas, honestly, are probably the scariest things. They are very quick and will blow up and do a lot of damage. So we pick this isotope up and plug this in here, and now we need to try to survive a little bit higher radiation than we were just in before. And a couple of robots. Another quick save. Yeah, this guy's a little bit in the way. All right. So elevators in this game are like these gravity shafts. You can turn them on and off. Use an EMP grenade on this guy. Okay. So once again, we want to do a death warp, so go back to that restoration bay that we just passed. So we don't really need to worry about health, but I do need to get this done before I die. Flip the switch, and we should be good to go there. So we're gonna go back up top, cut out a whole lot of backtracking, get rid of the elevator, and we can blow up the drill. So this is a great time for some donations if you got them.
Absolutely. We have an unreal amount of love for your birthday. We've got $50 from Zarium that says, "Happy birthday, BloodThunder. Always a pleasure to see you on the GDQ stage. Try not to break the game too bad."
I'll try.
We've got $25 from Chiffon Cake that says, "Happy birthday, BloodThunder.
Thank you.
Your runs are always my favorite of the marathon. Good luck, and thanks to everyone that makes GDQ possible." Time for one or two more?
You got it.
All right, we got $54 from Herminator. It says, "Happy 31st birthday, BT, and congratulations on the 23 run." As well as $35.51 from Cindy. "Happy birthday, BloodThunder. $1 for each year, plus $4.51 for the immersive sim. I love all of your runs. Greetings from Germany."
Thank you. So now we've blown up the laser, we're moving on to the next quest, which takes place in maintenance, an executive, which is the scariest part of the run. We're just gonna take out these cameras. So we go back to the first level where I destroyed those computer banks out of bounds. Every level in this game has a security level, which like blocks doors, and the more stuff you deal with and take out and lower that level, the more you gain access to. So those cameras I was just shooting do a little bit each, a couple percentage points. And the computer banks that we destroyed in the medical facility actually are the bulk of that. So that's why we need to clear those out for the medical bay. That enemy right there.
Hey, you mind if I sneak in with something important?
Go.
We have $451 from Justin Kahn that says, "Hey, BloodThunder, Justin Kahn, producer of System Shock here. Absolutely love seeing the game we poured our heart into ran at such an important event. So cool to see all the different ways the community has cracked our game wide open. Best of luck during the run, and thank you so much for showcasing your amazing skills. Much love from the dev team."
No, thank you, Justin. He's the one that reached out a little bit before saying they'd watch, so that's awesome. All right, so I had to reload there because I just actually couldn't survive. Tend to destroy that with a grenade, but sometimes it slips by. We're gonna shoot a couple more cameras. Try not to miss if my aim training's been good. All right, so we need a lower than 80% threshold to open this door. And this is going to allow us to activate another restoration bay and grab this med kit. And now we are headed up to the flight deck, which is going to give us one of the most useful items in the game. But another one that we just got is this laser sword. It is stupidly powerful, and it's going to be our main source of damage for the rest of the run. We need to do a little bit of a jump, so we're going to set it up by killing a guard. I'm going to just jump across. All right, first try. Oop. Don't want to loot his body. So there is a small out of bounds you can do here, but this mech kind of gets in the way. You can't quick save if an enemy is locked onto you. And it's not super marathon friendly, so we're not going to do it. We're just going to run down the hallway, which gives us time to show off this incredible sword. Unfortunately, we don't get the laser sword from the executive branch, which gets tied to the color of your UI, which you can change, and it's really cool. The one we pick up there is just blue. Just gonna cut these guys in half. They never stood a chance. So one thing that we were supposed to pick up a long time ago that we didn't, because it's out of the way, is the Turbo Motion Boots version 1, which give you like an increased movement speed. It kind of gives you some ice physics as well, at the expense of using energy. These are the Turbo Motion Boots version 2, which does the same thing, but it adds a hover mechanic so we can get some height off of it, and we can just kind of jump over large gaps, and it is extremely useful for what we're about to do. The game's been, I'd say, kind of like a standard speedrun up until this point, but in this level and the next one, Executive, is where things are about to get really crazy, so bear with me. At any point I don't explain something enough or you have questions, feel free to ask me after the run. We're gonna kill one more of these little mutant pods. Use this energy charge to get our energy back, and you can kind of see me hovering here, just to show it off. We need to grab one of these forget what they're called. What are they called? Interface demodulator. That's a fancy word right there. So we're going to make a save. It's not a safety save. It's actually a very important save, as you'll see here in a second. So you can kind of see the ice that's getting applied. We're going to go get out of bounds. A little bathroom break. Some of these are a little bit weird. Some are easier than others. Now we're going to use the turbo motion boots to hover over the void, so there's actually no collision underneath me, using the mini map to land perfectly. Quick save, quick load, so we get our textures back. And now we're going to hover over the void, lean in enough to grab this and replace it. So that should be fine. So we're going to reload that save we just made, which most people would say, well, you just lose all of the progression that you just did. And normally you'd be correct. However, with quests like that, where you actually are physically interacting with the prompt, if you reload during a specific time window, you actually get to keep that progression. Everything else gets reset, so you get to keep your items that you were in the save. So you can kind of save scum items that way, but you get to keep the quest progression. If you reload that save twice in a row, you lose it though, so you have to be a little bit careful. In Executive, we're going to abuse this to backtrack so much. There's 3 different branches, the Alpha, Delta, and Beta Groves, which we're going to Alpha right now. And we have to take these long train rides. So instead of taking it 6 times, we're going to take it 3. Coming up is probably the hardest out of bounds to do. It requires a very precise flight over the void. We need to clip through here. So once again, we're just doing quick saves, quick loads when we are in a crouch position up against something. So when we stand back up on the quick load, it puts us through the ceiling. We're trying to land on a very small invisible platform out here, which is lovely. So we need a lot of speed. Cut these corners very closely. All right, so we're not done yet. So Executive is the scary part of the entire run. There's a chance we get to the end and we don't have one of the quest progressions we need to keep. So I'm trying to load in the room here. Too far. Okay. So for these, I need to make sure that I can still see my weapon on the screen when I go to load. So we're gonna go back, keep that activated. And now we need to go do that 2 more times. So we're gonna go off to the Delta Grove, which is pretty easy, and then the Beta one's a little bit scary. And then the real fun begins. So this is just a very easy way to showcase the stuff we can do with save loading. It gets a little bit more crazy in a second. But as you may notice, Edward Dago is going through the speech over and over again. It's because we're reloading that save. So he gets really good at doing this commentary. He's practiced his commentary more than I have for this run at this point. He just loves this line over and over and over again. So yeah, I can use a Berserk pack here. I have 2, so I don't really want to use them when I don't have to, but because we get these items back, because we're just going to reload the game, we can kind of just use them freely. So you can skip all of Delta by just doing some nice hovers, and we're going to go up and over instead of running through everything. So weapons on screen, we should be good to go there. So there's about 3 or 4 things that I need to be completed before I can complete the final part of Executive. And if any of those were done incorrectly, we're gonna have a problem, but we're gonna take a little bit of a safe route here. Because we have the turbo motion boots and we can hover anywhere, we can actually go underneath the map and clip back in from the floor if we wanted to, but that is not marathon safe at all and is kind of weird to set up. So we're gonna grab this key card, which is going to make our life a little bit easier. Out of bounds once again, surprise, surprise. Do some more hovers over the void. We're looking for the room that has the cameras in it, which is denoted by the orange circles. I don't think I had enough speed there. So the movement speed is actually, you have a little bit of acceleration, so if you just jump right away, you don't actually have a lot of speed. So you got to kind of sprint and then jump. That looks a lot better.
Mind if I cut in with something small while you're setting this up?
Yes, one quick one.
We've got $25 from Thorcat that says, happy birthday, BloodThunder.
It's so weird that my mom just called me BloodThunder. But thank you so much. My mom's awesome. Always supports, always watches. I've done 25 of these, and she's watched every single one. But this is where things are going to get a little bit more complex. Sorry if it's hard to follow. We're about to create two separate timelines. Think of it as this is the out of bounds timeline. We're going to use that key card we just had to get back in bounds. And now we need to get into the Beta Grove. We're going to make another save here, which is going to be the inbounds timeline. So the Beta Grove's a little bit scary because it has the highest radiation. I think it's actually classified as something else, but just to kind of sum up the quest line that we're on right now, Shodan's like, oh, you destroyed my mining laser, whoop-de-doo. I have this virus that I'm going to unleash upon Earth now, which is actually a callback to the beginning of the game when you meet up with Edward Diego, because that was his intention, was to take that virus and sell it off as a biological weapon. So now that she's kind of getting Edward Diego out of the way, she says, I'm going to do that for myself. So she's going to run through here, try not to die. All right, and we're going to load the out-of-bounds timeline. Another big hover over the void. Looking for the very big room. So not all of these rooms are flat surfaces either, so when you're on top of them, you have to kind of know how they're laid out. Just gonna have to trust me on that one, I can't give you a visual. Save load so we can see this room, and if this switch is able to be pulled, we have done things correctly. But we're not done yet. It's just the next step. Okay. So we're going to quick save there. So you can pull the switch, that's good. We need to reload the inbounds timeline now. Run up these steps and we can hit this switch, and as soon as we break the glass, we're going to reload that quick save we just made. Lead through the wall. Pull this control. We don't actually need this now for quest progression. We can leave executive. We've done things correctly, but it gets us back in bounds. So that's a weight off my shoulders. That's the only thing that can really cost us a lot of time. And once again, sorry if that's kind of hard to follow, but we're doing a quick save, quick load to get rid of this dialogue. So we're going to go up to engineering. And from here, now that we've gotten through that quest, the levels become a lot more simple. We just need to get through that one level. We're not going between different floors. Even though the quest typically kind of sends you all over the ship, which is a cool thing casually. You get to re-explore areas and see different parts of it, but we're not going to do any of that because it takes too long. We're going to grab the Turbo Motion Boots version 3, the upgraded version, and all the upgrade does here is allows us to hover up higher, which is going to become very handy in the next level. Now we're going to get to the end of this map. We're going to take out a couple enemies because you can't quick save when there's enemies nearby. Sometimes when enemies die, they just kind of stand there. It's hard to know if they're actually dead. Okay, we're going to take out this camera. We're going to try to do a clip up through this part of the ceiling. So the one puzzle that we are going to see is this one here. We're not actually going to do it, but just going into it will pull us back into the map, so we can use that to drop back in bounds. Very, very handy, very, very nice. And we are off to the next level. There's nothing really gating progression here. What's typically supposed to gate progression is up and security. There's going to be a locked door that's, hey, until you actually go and do some other stuff, destroy these radio antennas. I kind of forget the nitty-gritty details. It's just going to stay locked, but we can go out of bounds, so it's not going to matter. And then we need to climb up a big out-of-bounds section. So while I'm doing this, you can read a couple donations.
Absolutely, we can do that. We've got a ton of love coming in from your community for the birthday. We've got $25 from Sweetola that says, happy birthday, BT. We've got $54.51 from Strabo that says, I've been watching GDQ and BT since his Wolfenstein runs in 2016. 8 years later, and we're still watching. Thanks for all the years of entertainment and support for the charities, and happy birthday, BT.
Thank you so much. So here, we're gonna do an out of bounds, or a clip back in through this floor. So it's over the void, it's a little bit scary. And as you can see, this room is very, very tall. You're supposed to like go up the sides and deal with enemies. We're just gonna go up the middle using the turbo motion boots and just hover. And we're coming up on our first boss fight. You're supposed to see one back in executive, but we skipped over it. So we're gonna pop a berserk back as we're flying over here. Try to not hit these things, they'll just take my energy away. We're gonna pop an energy battery pack. I'll recharge a little bit. Prep an EMP and spawn in Edward Dago. He's been turned into a cyborg and he's got a shield, so we're gonna throw an EMP at him, miss it. See if I can work on my throws a little bit more. His rockets are actually kind of deadly, so we don't want to take too many hits. Wait for that to go off. He gets stunned, and with Berserk and the laser sword, we can just wail on him. He's dead. We got his key card. We're good to go. Now, hopefully you've been paying attention to the story because I hope you can guess what happens next. While this little cutscene goes on, we get this great overview music. You can read a couple donations.
I would be happy to. We've got $100 from Echo025 that says, happy birthday, BloodThunder. Donation goes to Elder Scrolls Bonus Run. And just a reminder, that bonus run for the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind is right under 50%. So we need just over $10,000 more to get that bonus any percent run met. I think we can absolutely do it within the next couple of runs. I think we've got this. Just make sure when you make that donation, you scroll to the bottom of the page and click on Add Incentive so that you get every dollar of your money's worth and get to watch more Elder Scrolls.
All right, so this is kind of the final level of the game. We do have cyberspace after this, which is something we've not talked about because we've also not seen it. There's this whole cyberspace mechanic to the game, which is kind of cool. I'm a little happy we get to skip it. I need to actually reload that so we can see the next part. What we're trying to do is climb up high enough so we can hit a teleporter from underneath, and it's going to warp us straight up into the next boss. But there's not a lot of ground here to stand on, so quick save, quick load so we can see the textures again. Now we need to land on a very small piece of collision right here. Pop our berserk. Warp through the teleporter, prep an EMP, and we don't want to hit the keycard control panel on the left there, or on the right. We just want to hit the boss, which is a Cortex Reaver. It gets stunned. Once again, Berserk and Laser Sword just makes real quick work of this. That boss is down, and into cyberspace we go. Now, unfortunately, we do have to down patch this game because the quick save, quick load to get out of bounds method was patched. Unfortunately, it kind of makes sense. I get it. But what that means for us is if you've played this game in like the last 4 months or so, I think was the patch, this part's been completely reworked. It is completely changed. It's a little bit similar in design, but I actually get through it's completely different. For the better, on the down patch version, it's not super interesting, I'm going to be honest. A little bit of an auto-scroller here, and then we're going to go through 3 different platforms where we need to do 3 cycles of shooting the crystal in the middle 6 times, trying to dodge enemies. If we die, we just respawn on the platform, so we have a little bit of time loss, and the enemies are random, so it can happen. More than likely, it will take at least a death. But that's all that's going on here, so I'm just going to throw it away to donations. We got a lot of love, we're going to need them.
Well, funny enough, we do have some love, if you can call it that, from Shodan, who donates $25 and says, look at you, hacker, a pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? That's an exceptional question, Shodan. Thank you for supporting Doctors Without Borders, even if it raises some questions about why you support us. We've got $50 from Six Samurai that says, hey, BT, myself, Thor, and the rest of the community want to wish you the happiest of happy birthdays. Here are 50 cabbages in honor of your special day.
Thank you.
We've also got $40.51 from Gulch2 that says, had to donate during BT's run. GL and happy birthday.
Thank you. It was awesome meeting you, Gulch.
We've also got $451 from Shane, which says, stayed up to watch this run with BT.
That's crazy, thank you.
Also $45.10 from Mr. Zach Guy. It's always enjoyable seeing BT run BioShock, and it's even better catching the System Shock run in person. Happy birthday, BT. $50 from Maxi. Happy birthday, BT, from all of us on the crowd couch. You are truly one of the best to do it, and I, as well as all the homies here, are happy to get to call you our friend. Much love. We've got $50 from Cream of Leet. It's a really good username. It says, I was told to donate as someone's birthday wish, so here I am. GL and happy birthday to BloodThunder. Put this toward Adopt the Puppies. I don't see any kitties out here speedrunning. $45.10 from Anonymous that just says, happy birthday, BT. As well as a $5 birthday train that includes $5 from Zixwater saying $5 happy birthday train, let's go. And $5 from Martin Scores 8. Oh, it's Martin Scores Easy like Martin Scorsese. Y'all have really funny usernames, which also says happy birthday, BT.
Thank you. Yeah, so one platform down, we have 2 more to go. You've got plenty of time for more donations.
Well, good news, we've got plenty of them. People are very happy that it's your birthday. Like this $14.50 from Mar and Gak that says, happy birthday.
Thank you.
$10 from Mr. Cellophane that says, look at you, hacker, a pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect immortal machine? Is that his line?
It might be.
He's got $50 coming in from Piccolo113 that says, happy birthday, BloodThunder. As well as $20 from Anonymous that says, happy birthday, BT. Thanks for sharing all your shock game knowledge with us.
This part's a little bit scary because of that orange enemy right there, but that's 2 platform down, 1 more to go, and then time will come up once we're done with that. More time for donations.
All right, we've got $10 from Georgie. It says, happy birthday, BT. I first saw BloodThunder on a GDQ event many moons ago and have been a fan ever since. As someone who spends a lot of time alone, having your company in my home while you stream has been a real gift on some rough days. Thanks for being you. And thanks to GDQ for being such an amazing organization. The work you do, not only for Doctors Without Borders, but every other charity you support is nothing short of incredible. Love from Australia. And I gotta agree, I've spent a little time lurking in BT chat since finding out I was hosting this run, and it's just good times and good vibes and a nice place to hang.
Oh yeah, if you like FPS or horror games, you know, I stream a lot of the time. Come check them out. Okay, I think we may have finished. Okay, we just need to get this platform. Said you die a lot here in runs. We actually hit it in the death, so that's pretty awesome. So time will be coming up here in just a second. Okay, there we go. That's time. Here is Shodan being reverted back. We've done it. We actually get a quick glimpse at the character. Just a second here. But quick shout outs once again to Looking Glass Studios, the original creators of System Shock, and Night Dive. Thank you so much for watching and donating and remaking this game. It's been awesome. Shout outs to the community. They're not a very active community these days, but hey, if you're looking to get into this run, you can always join the Discord and ask. Just go to speedrun.com and look for the System Shock remake. You can find the Discord link from there. If you want to learn this run, I do actually have a tutorial up on YouTube from kind of late last year. It's a little bit out of date, but just a couple things that you can learn. Just watch through this. They're not too hard to pick up, or you can just ask me some questions. Shout outs to the entire GDQ staff who've been putting on this event. You know, I've been coming to these since GDQ 2014. The fact that we raised $50 million over the lifetime is just absolutely insane. I've met so many friends through all of these, so many on the back couch and stuff. Makes it awesome just to be here and to be able to do this on my birthday has just been a complete blast. You know, I'm very fortunate that this is the hobby that I picked up. So thank you guys for having me. This has been System Shock. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out about it. But I hope you enjoyed, and you know, shout out to the immersive sim fans out there as well.
Awesome. Thank you.